many of the videos that you've seen here in the Great Sex portion of the Lifepoints website, I have sought to articulate the incredible power that sexuality has in culture and in individual lives. I've sought to communicate to you that it has the power to be incredibly constructive in a God-ordained, God-blessed context of a covenant of marriage, where God is involved in our sexuality. I've also tried to explain to you and articulate that sexuality misappropriated, distorted, or inverted in our lives in its priority has the incredible potential to be incredibly destructive. And that's the area I want to soberly address with you today. 1 in 5 collegiate women in our culture today have been raped. 1 in 4 people in the general culture have been sexually abused. You see the propensity to leave an incredible trail of destructiveness emotionally and physically, socially in culture today among our women. The U.S. Bureau of Justice reports that 95% of rapes among collegiate women go unreported. One would gather that the vast majority of those women who have been victimized by men are left to their own devices and don't have the appropriate counsel and nurturing necessary to heal from such trauma. Another statistic, 57% of rapes occur in the context of a date. That's among collegiate women. So you can see the importance of understanding boundaries and using discernment in who it is that we associate with on a college campus that has the potential to be sexual. Women aren't to be faulted for what is happening to them, but we do have to be proactive in keeping ourselves from situations through good boundaries and good decisions. Now, what's the ramifications of this incredible destructive behavior that's taking place in our culture today? Well, those who are violated have this propensity towards post-traumatic stress disorder, depression, and suicide. There's even a cyclical behavior and experience of a victim-perpetrator cycle that takes place, not unlike the repetitive abuse that takes place among women with abusive spouses. There too is, among teenagers, self-blame, and among teenagers, a reaction to such trauma is, ironically, sexual promiscuity, which actually is an attempt to numb the pain that they experience. Teenagers today also find themselves, not always this is the case, but cutting themselves to create a pain that is less than what they're experiencing emotionally as a result of trauma in their life. Mankind has this incredible propensity and potential to self-destruct and inflict harm and pain upon one another. And I keep trying to communicate this in these videos, that we live in a fallen world where there is no heaven on earth, and that God wants to ordain and bless this gift of sexuality He gave us. And He does not want us to use it as leverage to inflict pain or to carry out retribution on other people by having it. The very extremes that we experience in our culture in terms of sexual behavior and anger and wrath and rage and violence against one another is evidence of our need of appropriate godly understanding of what He gave us. In fact, we need a relationship with Him, whether it's a relationship to heal or a relationship to be delivered and set free from the very things that are destroying us. Be it pornography, abusiveness, rape, betrayal, adultery, all the things we've discussed, they're usually on 1 or 2 planes, highly constructive or highly destructive. Look, will you, please, and look objectively at this issue of sexuality and look at the seriousness of it and ask yourself, are you immune to such destruction? And if so, what makes you immune? This is no game. Culture has made this out to be casual. It's not. It is anything but casual. Don't take the bait and the deception that sexuality in this 21st century is a recreational event. It's anything but. It's eroding the very fiber of who we are as individuals in our identity to God on a daily basis. We need to think about such things soberly. Again, think objectively, but do think about the choices we're making in our lives on this issue of sexuality.